So I came across another great article by what's it called, Rudder Rock. It says Clemson football 11 biggest villains of all time. I'll go through them first. Paul Feinbaum, Jake Bentley, which I don't understand. Jake Bentley didn't do jack. All he said was that never again. Then they beat them 56-7. Then like next year, then they kept it within 20 points. I don't know why. That one's up there. Deion Sanders, yes, very, very big villain in Clemson history. Go back to, I think it's 88. Florida State came to Clemson. Clemson was number 3 in the nation, I believe. Florida State came to town. Florida State, that was one of Florida State's many few of Florida State scores. Florida State really didn't do nothing against Clemson offensively. Trying to get to that particular game. Hold on here. That was 1988. The final score was 24-21. That's the Fumbarusi game. Deion returned a kick. Fumbarusi happened at 14 points off of special teams, which gave them the win. We was number 3 in the nation. It was number 10 that year. Clemson started off the season at number 4, beat Virginia Tech, start the season off 40-7. They also lost to NC State. I'll get back to that in a minute. So that's one of the big games. DJ Swerny. I guess he was a player during that 5-game winning streak that what's that school called? South Carolina had over Clemson. He knocked Andre Ellington out of the game. They had that one in there. Okay, whatever. I don't know about that one. Vince Dooley, he was head coach at Georgia when they won their national championships. I think it was 15-6-1 versus Clemson. Georgia was a power like they are now, but yeah, I can agree with that one. Bobby Bowden, yeah, Clemson beat them in '89, but after that, I don't think they won another game in like 2003, and they humiliated us a lot, man. Even in Death Valley, and the Bowden, and that run. Steven Tellenhill. Guess he's a Gamecock quarterback. He was 2-2 versus Clemson. Um, he ended a 4-game losing streak to Clemson in 1992. So that was one of the ones they picked. Todd Ellis. Uh, he beat Clemson in '87. Todd in '86. I'm coming back to a lot of these. I was a little kid when some of the games happened. And before Todd Ellis took over at quarterback, um, Clemson was like they were beating South Carolina like 74-10. I got some disagreements with them. Okay. Woody Hayes, yeah, because he punched the guy in the face. Yeah, okay. I don't know why that's really a villain, but okay, whatever. I mean, outside of punching a player, I guess that was wrong. Nick Saban, yeah, I would say he's a villain. Really, he's the reason why Tommy Bowden got fired. I don't know if y'all remember that year. Clemson came in ranked at 8. Uh, Clemson was like, "Yo, we gonna be good this year." Spiller, uh, Davis. Can't remember who was a quarterback that year, but that was supposed to be one of Clemson's best teams. Alabama completely annihilated Clemson. The game, Fiesta Bowl, 46-40. Saw Clemson for getting their first national championship like 34, 35 years. Uh, Next year we got them bad. Then next year they beat us in the what's it call it in the Orange Bowl. I mean the Sugar Bowl. So he's number two. Of course, number one, which is no shock to anybody, is my boy Steve Spurrier, number one of all time, uh, villain. Now I'm gonna take you to something, and this is the issue that I had a list. The reason why I have a list. I have a issue with the list. Uh, okay, North Carolina State has been a vein in Clemson's side. I would think Dick Sheridan would have been in there somewhere because Clemson wins the conference in '88, and they lose to Florida State. Clemson could have had 11 year, and they wouldn't have lost to NC State. They lost 10-3. I think that was a tsunami game or something. Uh, uh, 1987. NC State also 20-30. Clemson was ranked number 7 in the nation. The first loss of the year. Later on they ended up losing to South Carolina, who was number 12 in the nation that year. But yeah. But they ended up winning the conference that year. So 1986 was a weird year. Clemson finished with 2 ties. One tie was against Virginia, but the one loss that they had outside one Virginia Tech was in North Carolina State. North Carolina State was number 20. So I'm kind of shocked that they do not mention NC State as one of the villains out here. I would take Woody Hayes out of it more than I would North Carolina State. It's just kind of awkward. But I didn't mention this about Steve Spurrier. He was at Duke in '89. A weird game in the rain. And they had this big white fullback. He ran all over Clemson, man. And they ended up beating them that year. And Clemson at least could have tied for the championship in '89. But they didn't. They finished 10-2. Yeah, Virginia won the conference. Duke and Virginia won the conference. They could have tied for that one. So yeah. Yeah, they lost 21-17, and they got blown out by Georgia Tech 30-14 that year. But yeah, they would have won that game. They could have claimed part of the ACC championship. Yeah, '89. Virginia ended up winning it, but yeah. So NC State has always been the thorn in Clemson's side. I hope you enjoyed the video.